Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, interesting game about to happen because one of these two teams is about to have their dreams dashed. They'll be going out of this in all hopes of qualifying for the next season of the Pro League is going out of the window. It is going to be Dinosaurs versus NTSC, both of which have suffered a little bit of a loss so far. And joining me on this desk, two wonderful guys. Dan Gaskin massively shaking his head at me. But yes, guys, how are you? And are you looking forward to this game?
I'm great. I think the game we're going to be seeing is actually Pulse versus
Winners. Oh, it's Winners. I've been okay. I was
I didn't want to shake my head too vigorously at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, ignore everything I said previously. Winner bracket, one of these teams will qualify for the Pro League next season, fall 2016. So actually another game, but still a lot on the line for both of these two teams. Both these two teams coming up for a win. Pulse doing it in a narrow fashion, whereas We Know the Secret actually looking quite dominating over Dinosaurs earlier in this tournament. All right then, let's get the first impressions from this matchup.
Pulse, even though it was a close game, I still feel that they are looking very strong, and I think they'll have a relatively easy game over We Know the Secret. I do think it's going to be an easier game than it was against NTSC for sure.
I think they might drop a game, but I think they'll trash them. I'm going to be
I
generally think they'll trash them. I think now they've kind of set themselves on, we know how to play now, lads. We've had a few warm-up games. I always allude to them being a little bit of a slow start, but they've played a few games now. I think they're ready to rock and roll. They've beat, arguably, out of the four, what I would say was the second strongest team. It was definitely, for me, between Pulse and NTSC were the ones that you had to watch out and the ones who I still think will qualify for Pro League. I think they're two really goddamn good teams. They really, really are. So, arguably, when you look at it from that angle, yeah, I do think Pulse are just ready for it, And the interesting story of this is that this is the sixth. This is the bottom team in Pro League. Mm-hmm. They're actually now currently higher than Dinosaurs, who were fifth. So fair enough, it's only one spot, but certainly they're not currently staring down that relegation barrel just yet, and they'll get, whoever loses this obviously will get another chance. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch. A big good game.
All right, so you're kind of already saying Pulse have got this in the bag, but I think We Know the Secret. They looked pretty good. Are you maybe writing them off too soon to this, or are you just basically off the fact you think there's a disparity between the two, and you're actually saying Dinosaurs as well are actually just on a lower tier from what you believe of them?
I think I might be writing them off too soon, and to be honest, I've done it in the past, so it wouldn't expect me to. But
hashtag blame Sims.
I do think that one of their keys to victory, so to speak, was Anima before, and how he was quite aggressive and very sneaky, coming up on the flanks, coming up behind him all the time. I think this very slow, more passive, more controlled game, I want to say, coming out of Pulse won't allow for that, and I genuinely think they'll shut down Anima a lot more than what he was allowed to do. He was allowed to roam free against Dinosaurs. I think they'll stop that, and that's kind of like cutting the head off the Hydra, so to speak, and just stopping it. But again, you have to be aware with the Hydra, more come back, and this is the problem with them. They'll just keep flooding it over and over again.
I do think that was what kind of Cali was doing against NTSC. NTSC known for being a little bit more about flanking, a bit more sporadic. Cali was just sitting back in the base. He was being that anchor position. He was saying, look, if they want to flank us, I'll be there waiting. So I do think that Pulse, they adjusted very quickly to how NTSC were playing. They will do exactly the same against We Know the Secret.
Okay, you're saying, Pulse, they've got that experience, they've got that veterancy. Let's take a little closer look then at the Pulse roster. Let's talk about this Pulse team. Now, for me, again, narrow win. And even the maps they won were a little bit more narrow wins, but again, a win is a win. That seventh map spoke so much for me, saying that after coming off, and you got Talak on fire and NTSC, Pulse going to Game 7, they look calm, they look composed, they play exactly their game mode that they want to, just completely unflustered the fact they dropped 3 maps in a row. Coming to the next map and going, that's all right, we'll get this one, it's fine. For me, that just seems massive coming up against We Know the Secret, who, let's be perfectly honest here, is a team we don't know as much about as some of the other people in this tournament.
I do think that there were some weak game types for Pulse there. The main player I kind of want to watch is SLG. I mean, this guy, I said to Bravo, he started competing at like 8 years old when he was playing Halo CE.
Wow.
He won his first LAN at Halo 2 when he was 12. So he's been around for quite a while. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to be who I'm going to be looking at during this series.
You'll be doing your research, aren't you, pal?
Well,
You've definitely been.
I was at events at 13 as well, so I know how this guy feels.
No, I agree. I think
12-year-old me was a moron.
Yeah,
I could have won that when I was 12.
Just a 12-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not very nice.
I know.
So look at that. Just comes in
it's all right.
Sorry, mate.
See how
My
it is.
first time on the analyst desk, and I'm sorry. I take that back.
It's okay. I'll put you on set later. Make me feel better. But no, I mean that's quite fascinating to have that kind of a pedigree coming forward.
They're the nicest. It sounds really, really weird. These are the nicest and happiest guys you will meet in Pro League, and it kind of touches on what you're saying, Bryce, is that they're just not really phases them. They just sit there. It's like, loss a loss. We'll move on. We'll carry on. And when we've done interviews with them in sports, it's like, stuff happens. You move on, don't you? Live and learn. And I think that mentality is kind of what drives these guys. Brush it aside, move on, look forward to the next game.
I think what SLG said, I spoke to him briefly, and he was like, we will be in Pro League next season.
Oh,
he was very confident. He said, we had a few mix-ups, a couple of players left, we had to make some changes, but we're going to be there. We are good enough. We're very confident going into this.
Oh wow, okay, and of course we know the secret, even though they did well against Dinosaurs. For me, this is almost looking a little bit like the Dinosaurs team with the 2 Bucks in it. It's kind of almost been ridden out of this, because right now, who do you say isn't better than them? Well, right now we've seen a very close game with Pulse NTSC. We've seen, we know the secret take them down. Is that putting Dinosaurs right at the bottom of the barrel?
Unfortunately, I think so. Yeah, I was thinking that Dinosaurs would have like a good start, probably beat We Know the Secret, but the fact they were to lose to them, I'm really quite concerned about them going into that game against NTSC, especially after that performance against Pulse. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried for especially the Bucks. I saw you guys speaking about it earlier. It's concerning that they are in this kind of, but I do hope that they will, if they were to get relegated, they would fight it again in open. Because imagine having those kind of names in open circuit. If Americans were to look over and see, oh, okay, so the Bucks are in the open circuit, it gives credibility to that open circuit.
I think in terms of credibility, I mean, the teams that have come out of it kind of shows it itself, doesn't it? We've got 2 amazing teams, regardless, but it's. Yeah, I mean, it is a hard one, don't get me wrong. Anything can happen. In this next game, it's kind of all on the line, generally.
Obviously, coming from the outside, I'm not as into this. You guys have done the season. You've been here every single game for that. Just to be so surprised from being, what is at the moment a fall from grace in the Bucks. And I'm not writing them off completely yet, because they could, of course, come all the way through and qualify again. But for me, that's probably one of the most amazing storylines coming straight into this. Is just seeing this team that was, ex-Epsilon, and no one believed that team was going to break up. And now we're talking about them, are the weakest tier, the 2 teams that, if that old Epsilon team was here, we go, oh yeah, they're great, it's fantastic, it's brilliant. And then all of a sudden, give it, 4 or 5 months now down the line, they're not even really in contest in your guys' mind.
So we've kind of gone, sorry to break off that, but we've kind of gone from, this is the first team to make top 8 at Worlds and in America. They broke America, they got in there, they beat Cloud9, and they also took games when they were on this Epsilon roster from CLG. They almost took CLG to a Game 5, which is the number 1 team in the world. So they did well against them. Obviously, I think top 8, massive achievement. Coming to this, and it's been a struggle to get into Pro League. They were initially invited in, Epsilon roster broke up, they then got their invite revoked. They then went into the Invitational tournament with players who were here today. There's several players and members down there that were on the roster of this team. That team didn't make it in by the Invitational. Then they broke up again. They've had 3 teams to get to this point. Then eventually they got in through the open invites, the open qualifiers. They got in there. But I mean, if we're classing, fair enough, I know it's finals, but if we're classing still the finals part of the Pro League as such, they're now on, I believe it's a 7-loss streak after that game. That is just, they beat their old teammates from Epsilon. They reverse sweep them, which was mind-blowing. And everyone were like, they've just beaten the God Squad of Europe. And then since then, 6 losses in a row.
7 now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean. We class this, that's 7 in a row.
Alright, well, I think we've discussed the fall of grace from the Bucks, and we will cover that more later when they actually end up playing here. But back to these 2 teams now. We're looking at one of these 2 teams to get into the Pro League, and you've both said Pulse. Is there anything We Know the Secret? What are the keys to victory for Secret, or We Know the Secret, to kind of get into with this?
I think that if We Know the Secret can kind of keep it a little bit random and take Pulse out of their comfort zone, like NTSC were doing, but just have that kind of final push. NTSC were just falling at that last hurdle. I found a lot in that series. They would get in the faces of Pulse, but when it got to the kind of business end, they were struggling, and then they allowed Pulse to set up. I just really think they need to keep on top of this Pulse lineup and not give them the chance to get in those setup positions.
Yeah, main 2 things. 1, take advantage of the slow game. Literally get you stuck in. Just get your head in, crack on, make it work. Put them down at the start and don't give in. Do not give them anything. I think the next thing is to just, whatever you do, don't give them any chance whatsoever. Keep all the power weapons, keep all the power-ups, do everything you possibly can. I mean, it's still Halo whenever it's a key to victory. Well, control power-ups, but really, when you look at Anima, if he gets a railgun, he does not miss a single shot. He will make every single one of them count every time, without fail.
I think, for me, alright, I'm going to, let's go hypothetical right now. Sims, I'm going to put you on that roster. I'll put you on NTSC.
I've never made out of top 24, so I don't know why, but yeah, carry on.
No, actually, I'll put you on We Know the Secret, right?
Yep.
You watched that last game. You sat there, you looked at it, you analysed it. What would you try and exploit? What would you say, right, well, this is something we can do. What are the weaknesses of Pulse? Where can we try and at least take these maps off them?
I think
what are you saying to your teammates?
Definitely let Anima play his game, but work around Anima because he is a standout player. He's like Solo, you know. I mean, on Halo 5, one man can't carry an entire team. It's a team-orientated game. It really, compared to any other Halo, this really is all about teamwork. In a couple of previous titles and other games, one player can go off and really carry them. But in this one, it's like, you can't do that, but I'd say work around Anima a little bit more, give him a little bit more room, let him do what he does, be a nuisance to the team, let him flank around, let him take advantage of them. But more importantly, just hit them hard, hit them fast. Do not give them any room for anything, no room for error. Keep them locked into the spawn, keep monitoring the spawns, block the spawns. Do anything you possibly can to keep them in a pocket and just keep them funneled and just slay them, constantly slay them. And they'll be, especially when it comes to objective, if you just keep slaying them, they can't do anything.
Okay, well in that case, Gaskin, I'll put you on the other side. You're now with Pulse. You're Coach Gaskin.
We. Yep. Do I have to speak in French or?
No,
Okay,
there's a translator there as well for you. But you're now going to say, you know what? We saw these guys took down dinosaurs. What can we explore? What do we see? What were the gaps in that team we can take down?
Honestly, I would say to play like they did in the last series. I think NTSC and We Know the Secret have very similar play styles. They have a lot of individual players who like to kind of spread themselves across the map. They like to flank a little bit. Kali needs to do what he was doing. He was just kind of sitting in bases. He was making sure that either team couldn't flank around behind him. So that's what I'd say. I'd say just kind of keep Kali in those positions, stop the flanks from Anima, shut down Anima. I think he's the key ingredient you need to shut down.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, we've got the videos actually coming in now, and I actually have them right here in glorious Technicolor. All right, so first of all, we've got Pulse banning Rig. We've got the next ban goes to Empire. Then Plaza gets banned, and we are playing Eden. First of all, how do you think that works out?
So Pulse have never vetoed Stronghold's Eden. So, again, like last series, they're finding game types that they haven't. Other teams have been kind of vetoing against them, whereas these open teams are maybe playing against them, and they're not. They might have not done their research, and then they don't know what kind of games to play against Pulse. So, I would like to think Pulse would be confident going into this one if they've never vetoed it.
Without question, and we know that they are quite strong, especially on Stronghold maps as a whole in general. The actual game type, they do enjoy it, and it kind of matches their play style of let's just get the plots that we need to, boys. Let's keep them down and just keep on trucking. And yeah, I think that's definitely, especially that map, that's a good one for Pulse now. Okay,
well, it makes a little bit of sense, right? All right, Slayer coming in, and now normally I would tell you this, but I want you guys to think, what would the map be? Bearing in mind, I believe it's We Know the Secret's last ban. So what have they picked? Just come on, top of your head.
If I was We Know the Secret, I'd want to be playing something a little bit more random, like Regret.
Okay.
You want to know what it is or what the band?
What do you think it's going to be? What do you think we're playing?
I think we're going to play Truth.
Okay, well, you're both wrong.
Oh.
So Eden gets taken out, then Regret, then Collie, or Colosseum, and then Truth, and we're going to be playing Plaza.
Ooh. Okay.
Another game type that Pulse have never vetoed.
Do not give, straight up, do not give him SLG, that sniper.
No.
If he gets that, game over. Straight up.
That's it. The entire game mode. Do not give him the sniper.
The team will set up around him. One will get in cafe. One will watch the posters, and that's it. It's done.
That's it. That simple.
In my opinion, professional, which is stands for nothing, no credibility.
Well, if they do that, and then the game isn't over and it goes the other way, hashtag blame Sims, of course. All right, next coming into the CTF, it's going to be Pulse ban Stasis. Then Colosseum gets taken out. Then we have Truth taken out, and we are playing Fathom.
Not many people like Colosseum, do they?
And it's another game type that Pulse have never banned. So that's 3 in a row. They have never, ever vetoed throughout Pro League.
So the biggest question is here, what's happening? Are we doing our Pulse kind of playing? Because there's two ways you can do these vetoes. You can do it towards what you think you're better than the enemy at, so to speak, you know, and go against them, or you can do it to what is your favourite. Now, and you've spoke about in different games vetoes for many. I've seen some of the stuff you put on about vetoes and how important it is. It's the mental game of trying to look at what do you do. Do you wait and to see what the opposing team does to see if it goes in your advantage? Do you use it? At the moment, these game types, we've seen it on there, but then again, you know, we don't obviously have We Know the Secret stuff and stats on there, so we don't know how we're only going on by one teams. For all we know, these could be absolute god tier.
Well, this is what I was going to point out. You know, I've called 3 of the maps we're playing right now, and every single time you went, but that looks like it favours Pulse. And you're right now, the information we have, it does look like it favours Pulse, and we're going to find out as I go into the next one. We have got map 4 now. It is going to be playing Plaza, is the one we're going to be seeing here. So, does that again favour Pulse, or is it now you're going, well, actually that's not the map they want?
They've vetoed it 19% of the time, so it's one of the lower vetoes, but they've definitely been getting rid of it. But again, like Rich was saying, it's usually vetoing against another team.
Yeah.
So if they knew that kind of Infused were good at that map, they'd probably get rid of it. So I don't want to read too much into the vetoes, but it is always interesting to see like how much they have vetoed a particular map.
This is quite ironic because I'm looking at the stuff you've written down, and so far it's literally been word for word. I'm very, very impressed at this. Super, super impressed. And the one thing that I actually have to say on this Plaza is that too many times we've seen Pulse come back from massive, massive deficits and rubber band their way to victory on Plaza Strongholds. We just keep saying Pulse, Pulse, Pulse here.
Hey, look, if it's Pulse, 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 then it's Pulse, Pulse, Pulse.
Maybe this is the thing, the unorthodox play and unknown play style of We Know the Secret could really help them out, because Pulse might be like, oh, what's going on here, boys? Why ain't this working? That's because you've got Anima around the back, putting them in different weird spawn locations that they don't know about and don't expect, and then you've just got someone up top mid just absolutely railing them down, and it's like, yeah, maybe the unorthodox playstyle and unknown playstyle of We Know the Secret could catch them off guard here.
Yeah, I think that's something. I mean, because we've said Pulse every time now, right? And we're saying this seems to favour them, but We Know the Secret, and I don't want to be pun too much on their name, although it is fun. Maybe it is a bit secretive. Maybe they just don't know what's going on here. I mean, Dinosaurs certainly didn't. So maybe it's not the case for Pulse. We are going to move on to map 5 now, and surprise, surprise, we are playing Colosseum this time.
Oh, look what you've got written down.
Yeah, I know. So 19% vetoes from Pulse, obviously, because I have the statistics. I was doing the vetoes all season with these guys. Colosseum, though, I think is an interesting one for Pulse. It does kind of play into the favour, I think, of We Know the Secret, because it can kind of be in favour of those flanks. You can imagine if like Anima is going to just run around Rocket's side, if he can kind of do that without being spotted, get behind the base, get behind the players, then maybe We Know the Secret have got this one.
And because of all the there's so many weird angles that you can hit stuff at, and so many weird angles you can kind of approach the flag and take the flag out. You can just dive bomb it across the middle, from top mid, so to speak. You can try and get it across from bridge to bridge. You can run snipe. You can, if you really were really random, run rockets, but we barely ever see that. You can go down low, below rockets, past the scatter shot. There's a lot of different routes you can take, and again, when you've got a scatter on there, you've got a sniper rifle, you've got rockets, you've got DMRs, you've got SMGs, you've got everything on there. You've got all these different weapons, and We Know the Secret of the kind of team that be like, oh, look at all these toys, I'll shove them in my basket and we'll make use of them. And whether or not, again, that comes to their advantage, that'll be really, if we get that far, that'll be a really good game.
Okay, well, moving on to map 6 then, and surprise, surprise, Colosseum again. CTF
Back-to-back.
Colosseum, we are seeing a back-to-back here, and I kind of want to point that out here. If you have a win on the first Colosseum, does that give you a lot of confidence going in? I know it's different game types, but does it give you a lot of confidence moving forward?
I mean, definitely maps they usually play relatively similar from Slayer to Objective. CTF, Capture the Flag Colosseum, 4 Pulse is actually one of their most vetoed Capture the Flag game types, so this is one of the games that doesn't favour them if we're going off vetoes. But I think you're right. If you're going to win that Colosseum game, you probably will go on to this Capture the Flag Colosseum as well and win that. So again, I'd say it's in We Know the Secret's favourite for this one. So they're looking like last series when NTSC had the favourable game types towards the end. I think that might be similar in this series too.
Yeah, totally agree.
Alright, awesome. Well, if we get all the way to a game 7, this is how it plays down. Colosseum and Plaza are already out. Pulse ban Regret. We Know the Secret ban Truth. Pulse ban Rig, and we are playing Eden.
Wow, he's right. This is no word of a lie. He's written down every single one that you've done there before you even announced it all.
Wow.
I am very, very impressed.
I don't know if that's impressive, really.
It really is. I'm quite impressed doing all that.
Dan Gaskin, statistical
Knows
wonder
what he's doing.
So 11% veto percentage from Pulse for Slayer Eden. One of their lower vetoes, their second least. So I'm expecting to be confident. Clearly, they hadn't vetoed Strongholds Eden as well. So Eden's something we didn't really see much of in the Pro League. We saw it vetoed a lot by some of the teams. Like Vibe particularly wanted to play it, but they were getting vetoed out of it. Pulse wanted to play it, they were getting vetoed out of it. Teams like X-Men were definitely against Eden. They didn't want to play it at all. So Pulse are now kind of it feels like they're rubbing their hands together and saying, look, there's all these game types that we weren't vetoing, now we're going to get the chance to play them.
Definitely, I'd say, for me, whoever wins, if it is back-to-back Coliseum, whoever wins them back-to-back will win Slayer Edom.
Oh, okay, right. So you think if they win 2 of them, they can win all 3 of them?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
That's pretty cool. All right then. Well, we've broken this down as pretty much as we can. We've gone through it. You know, Dan, you've been fantastic with the statistics. Although Wonderboy was not happy with me calling you Wonder Man. But let's get predictions very quickly now. Sims, I'm going to start with you.
Pulse.
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 Pulse. I'm also going to join you with the Pulse. I think they were very, very confident last time around. So again, this is probably coming down to the fact that the maps we think kind of favour them most of the way through, right up until maybe map 5, I think we said, and then we said map 5, 6 and 7. That's the 3 you can kind of combo together to win those out, but you've got to get there first of all. Scoreline, what do we think?
4-1.
4-1?
4-0.
Wow.
You really don't like
Is that written down there as well? Is that,
yes.
now.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Is there any reason that you're both so strongly for Pulse now seeing the maps? Is it the first 4 maps that kind of just?
I mean,
yeah, that's it.
The veto percentages kind of speak for themselves, but towards the end of the season of Pro League, Pulse have looked absolutely fantastic, and I've really been happy with how they've progressed, and I think they'll want this more than we know the secret.
Exactly what he said, but combined with the fact that they've just taken down what we believe to be the second best team out of those 4. You know, that's an NTSC damn good team, and who I thought would have beat them. And to beat them, fair enough, they took it to Game 7. Credit where credit's due to the opposing side, but to do exactly what he said, they've just got better and better and better, this team throughout Pro League. But then to beat who I thought was one of the better teams here, it kind of speaks words.
Okay, plus they're coming in hot, right? They're coming in off a big win, Game 7, so they're certainly going to be pumped up and coming in warm to this one. All right, well, let's find out whether or not we're right and Pulse do take this one, or do we know the secret, in fact, have their own secret? We're going to hand it over now to Bravo and Wonderboy to take this one away.
Hold on now.
I look very different.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like,
Bravo, you've changed. You've got an English accent, look. That's crazy.
I've been teaching him how to speak English, and he's coming on pretty well.
You know what's hilarious? It's not the first time his name's been gotten wrong.
I don't know what this thing is, but Brycey, we'll talk about this afterwards. But yeah, welcome to the Casters Desk, everybody. My name is Onset, I've been joined by Wonderboy for the Winners Brackets Finals. We're going to be sending a team into the Pro League at the end of this series, Harry. This is where it gets down to it. We're getting down to business now. We've got Pulse Gaming taking on We Know the Secret, and it's getting juicy, isn't it?
Yeah, what a matchup. I mean, we all thought that NTSC were going to take down Pulse, and Pulse took it to a Game 7 and they won. So I don't really know how you can doubt Pulse at this point. And we know the secret. We all thought Dinosaurs were going to win, and we know the secret comes in and just wins 4-2. So who really knows what's going to happen? Can I just say, though, it's so great to be back with you, man.
Oh, it really is, man. Honestly, it's been so long, hasn't it?
It's been so long since I've done like a 2-cast. I don't know if I know how to say the right words.
That's all right, I've got you, buddy.
So if you say the right words, and if I get the words wrong, then at least we're like 50% right.
Don't worry about it, I've got you. But what I wanted to say about this is We Know the Secret have already beaten a current Pro League team.
Yeah.
Going into this one, I think winning that series is going to be absolutely huge for them against Dinosaurs. So they're taking on Pulse Gaming, who are currently in the Pro League as it stands. This series, I mean, what can we come to expect from this series? Do you think that the confidence that We Know the Secret have gained from this is going to definitely help them in this series?
I want to know if it's going to play a part the fact that We Know the Secret have had a break and have had a shorter series. So Pulse played to a Game 7 just now, whereas We Know the Secret earlier on played 1 game less in the series and have had that 7-game break. So either they're staying warm or they've taken a break, who knows? It's going to be interesting to see if it plays a factor, but you've got to say, Pulse, after that last performance, I mean, we've all said that the NTSC roster is no joke, and the fact that Pulse were able to get it together in Game 7, despite their slow starts in games, they did very, very well, and here we have the series layout. Interesting fact that Gaskin actually brought up on the desk, Pulse 0% veto percentage first 3 maps. I think that kind of played towards the scorelines of the predictions of the analyst desk.
I wanted to get your feelings on how successful it seems like the veto process has actually been for Pulse Gaming, because it seemed like every single time Pulse were basically winning the battle of the vetoes. Do you think that's going to be a massive factor? And this is the first time I really think that the vetoes have come into effect.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, you just got to hammer on those first 3 game types. The fact that Pulse have never vetoed them in the Pro League, you've got to say it may just play towards this game. Eden Stronghold is going to be game number 1. You see the fly through right there, Mark. it's all about really just controlling as many strongholds as possible. Obviously, strongholds is about controlling strongholds, but you've got to make sure you control that camouflage and make sure you get the rockets as well, because you can really start stringing together triple caps and finish this game quickly.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are loading into game one. Use the hashtag HCS. Drop some hype in the chat as well for everybody watching at home. We are about to send the first team into the Pro League for Season 2. We're going to start this one off with Punisher. And Harry, what can we expect to see from these two teams at the start of this game?
It's going to be an interesting one because Punisher straight away dropping down low. The Pulse squad have obviously prioritised this overshield. He will take down Septic straight away, so that's a great play there from Punisher. He stays alive. Look how much health he has left here, Mark. That's a great play there from Punisher. That's going to enable him, despite spawning at red, to collapse on that blue bend immediately.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Punisher there, and he looks like having that overshield is definitely going to help him out as a teammate does actually come in and help him capture that. And look at this, 3 players are up in the catwalk, so great commitment from We Are The Secret to capture one of those strongholds. 1-1 at the moment, very tight start, but if Punny plays this one nicely, he could definitely capture this catwalk and also pick up a lot of slays for his team.
Yeah, getting that overshield at the start of the game, very important, because look how much damage he can sponge right here. He's just taking bullets and still capturing that catwalk, still has full shields, so he can still play aggressively. Interesting note here, Mark, SLG has the rockets, just took down a teammate as well, but Red Nest, still not been captured by either team, so despite Pulse here spawning at red, they don't actually have Red Nest yet.
And look at that kill feed. SLG has picked up 3 kills with 2 rockets, I believe, as we see Punisher rotating to help his teammate here, just to defend that blue bend, but it looks like that Red Nest is just moments away from being taken. But the reset actually comes in, so they are not going to be able to put the triple cap in effect. But a really strong start here from the French squad, Pulse Gaming, and they are showing a little bit of class at the start of this game.
Yeah, they really are. They got the overshield, they got the rockets, and look at this 12-point lead, make it 13 now.
And they have
the triple cap, like you say, Mark. I'm loving this just anchor work here from Punisher. I mean, he's rotated from blue bend. He's even at top cat at one point in time. I'd like to see him push Jersey 2 here. If he can get this reset, this would be huge.
Could
it be a triple? No, it can't, but look at how close that stronghold is actually to being captured. Cali will come in for the reset. What a play there out of Pulse. The triple cap continues.
So Pulse Gaming looking incredibly strong at the start of this one. Let's hop on board with Jersey 2. He had such a strong series previously that we saw come out of this man. 31-0 though at the start of this, and it seems at the moment like Pulse Gaming having that little extra sort of practice coming out the back of such a good series is really looking good for them at the moment.
Sorry to cut you off there, Mark, but Cali again coming in as soon as the point was about to be captured there from We Know The Secret. Cali coming in with a huge play. I believe it was Punisher who did the damage, and Cali at the very last second, they still have this triple cap. He got the reset on top catwalk, so loving this aggression. Pulse clearly is here, still hot from the last series. 51 points the lead, and Cali with the camouflage.
Cali also has that camouflage, but as you say, SLG for the second time in this game has the rocket launchers. We see Cali go one-on-one with Anima. Anima actually picks that one up, so that's going to be a couple dead here. And here's a chance for the guys from We Know The Secret to potentially get back into this game. They are trying to make a play on blue bend, but there's only one player there, so it just looks very, very messy at the moment. Catwalk finally goes into the hands of the guys from We Know The Secret as well as Red Nest, but SLG is just rotating around at the moment. It looks like for the first time in this game, finally, we're going to see We Are The Secret scoring some points.
Yeah, We Know The Secret, as you say, Mark, finally in the game. They're scoring. They have 5 points on the board now, but again, look at this Pulse aggression. They have Red Nest, and now they have the catwalk as well. Excuse me, they just took the Red Nest. They already had the catwalk, but 63-6. This is a commanding victory, and a commanding lead in this game, but so many times in the Pro League, we talk about Pulse, how slow they start games. Look at this. This is 65-7, and we haven't even had 3 cycles of power weapons yet, and that's another triple cap going in their favor.
That was a triple cap off the back of a 4 dead as well, so not only control of the map, but they are picking up all of the kills that they are requiring to at the moment. SLG on a nice flank here, but there are going to be 3 players that we can see on the player outline, so it looks like all of We Know The Secret are trying to put pressure on this Red Nest and committing to it, but look at those grenades and the shots coming in. Every single player is weak in that Red Nest, but it looks like Pulse are not going to be able to capitalize on that as we hop on board with Cali, putting some shots down on Vexus and trying to do his best to close this game out for Pulse Gaming.
Yeah, I think it might have just been a little bit of an overextension there from SLG. He could have maybe stayed alive, but he obviously thought, hey, you know what, we've got to keep this double cap up. I believe it was We Know The Secret actually taking the Red Nest, and SLG said, you know what, they're so close to capturing this stronghold. I got to push in and maybe contest it, but We Know The Secret did a great job. They put enough bodies in there, and this next cycle of power-ups and rocket launchers are coming up on the map.
Yeah, this is vital moments here if we're on We Know The Secret, because they need to get at least control of one of these power-ups or power weapons, because the score is 86-14, Harry, at the moment. It looks like Pulse Gaming have absolutely dominated this at the moment. They have a triple cap once again, and it just seems like, look at this, Fragger has those rockets in his back pocket. He's going to be pushing into blue base, can potentially take out Septic, does not take out Septic. Septic staying alive, finally going to be taken out by Fragger, gets the reset, and this looks like it could be game over if Fragger picks up a few kills here with these rockets. This is going to be game, Harry.
Yeah, like you say, it could very much be game. Pulse here, starting this series so strong. The blue band's being captured, but I don't think it's going to matter. Pulse take game number 1. What a quick Strongholds game, 100-14. What a performance out of Pulse Gaming, coming in hot off that last series. Let's bring up the scoreboard, see who the main slayers in the game were. Check out this even slaying power on Pulse. 12 kills, most in the game and most secures from Fragger as well. I believe we were on his point of view for a lot of the start of the game. Just fantastic performance all round. On the other side, you've got to say 4 kills out of Shorzy 2, 5 out of Septic, and 6 out of Vex Zeus. I mean, just Pulse. They seriously know how to play that game type, and you can clearly see why they have an absolute 0% veto percentage in the Pro League on that game type.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. You can see exactly why those guys do not veto that map. 100-14, fantastic performance from them. And one thing I was incredibly impressed with there was their control of not only the rockets. SLG that seemed to be his role on the team because he had them every single time, but also the camo and the overshield. They always seem to have those, and it's very easy to do that when you're outslaying your opponents so heavily.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the game, Punisher, we were on board with him, I do believe. He dropped down. He obviously got the call, and it's something that Pulse have worked on that game type. They say overshield's pretty big on this game type, so if we can dip down, just make sure the other team don't get it. Luckily, Punisher, I think he had literally about this much health left. About this much, Mark.
Just a much.
And he picked it up and he managed to stay alive with it as well. So maybe a bit of miscommunication there on We Know the Secret. But I gotta say, man, I'm not used to this 2-cast. It's so fast, especially that game time. That was so quick.
100-14. I mean,
I'm not used to saying so many words. It doesn't suit me.
That's all good, buddy. Don't worry about it. But 100-14 is going to be the first game. So we're looking to game 2 now. We're going into a Plaza Slayer, Harry.
Yeah.
If you're on We Know the Secret now, this to me looks like a game type that is probably going to favour them because it's just going to slow down a little bit. We've seen a very fast-paced game type there and a bit of a struggle for them. But we do actually have a tweet coming in here from Viperio Sordi, who says Team France is looking very strong. Both Pulse and NTSC playing phenomenally well. Hope both qualify. Hashtag Team France. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's spot on. I actually think Pulse and NTSC so far, I mean, we saw the wicked Game 7 series we saw last series out. Both teams looking very, very strong. I think that's hit the nail on the head right there. Just these French teams coming out to play. They obviously want to both be in the Pro League, and we have to remind everyone this series determines who's going to be in the Pro League next season. The winner of this series is going to the full season.
Yeah, this is the big prize right now, isn't it? This is a big prize for all of the guys who are going to be playing today. Qualification into Season 2 of Pro League. A hot start here from Pulse Gaming. They don't want to go down into the open bracket. They've come out firing. But yeah, let's move on to the next game type. As we previously mentioned, Harry, slowing the pace down a little bit here.
Yeah, Plaza Slayer, very much like I say, it's going to slow the pace down. I mean, after a very fast and frantic pace, Eden Strongholds in game number 1, 100-14, that was a very quick game. We're going to see a little bit more methodical play. We have obviously the Overshield coming up top middle. That's going to be every 2 minutes. We also have the Sniper every 2 minutes as well. But it seems to me when a team is down on this game type, it seems to be one of the few game types in Halo 5 where you can say, hey, you know what? Let's slow the game down. We need to get a little bit of composure here. Let's just wait until the next Overshield, try and make a play for the Sniper, and just regroup. I feel like it's one of the few maps in Halo 5 that allows you to do that.
Yeah, and one player we've definitely got to look out for on this map is SLG. We saw him go off in the previous series with that sniper rifle.
The desk talked about it. They said, you know what, if SLG gets the sniper on this game type, it could be curtains.
Yeah, so we definitely got to look out for him. I believe we're just moments away from getting into the game number 2. Pulse Gaming are 1-0 up in this best of 7. As we say, Pro League spots on the line now. We are getting down to business.
Yeah.
What have the guys from We Know the Secret got to do right now in order to get back in? Because that was a bit of a hammering from them. They literally barely had a presence on the map.
So we saw in the series against the Dinosaurs, on this map especially, Anima making plays. I remember at the start of the game against the Dinosaurs, I think it was the Strongholds game type actually, where he made a play for the power-up, right? The camo comes up top middle on Strongholds. He managed to get a double kill somehow on the Dinosaurs and grab the camouflage as well, and then go on to get a killing spree after that. That really sets the pace for the rest of the game. I want to see Anima try and do the same thing. If you can get the overshield, maybe be a little bit more aggressive. And of course, you've got to keep the Sniper out of the hands of SLG. Yeah, there you go. And preferably in the hands of Anima.
Now here's a question for you.
Or Septic even. I feel like the two Germans on the squad can definitely hit headshots whenever they like.
Here's another question for you. We saw Anima do what he did against Dinosaurs. It seemed like Dinosaurs' opening strategy really wasn't quite on point. That allowed him to pick that cam up almost uncontested. Do you think the Pulse Gaming are going to be a hell of a lot more prepared for something like that?
They should be. I mean,
you'd hope so.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so if they let Anima do what he did against the Dinosaurs, it could be pretty tricky for yourselves to win this game. But as we say, Slayer on Plaza, 50 kills to win. We have the Sniper, we have the Overshield top middle as well. Look for both teams to contest that, and don't forget, Pulse are already 1-0 up in this series.
So Slayer Plaza, we are moments away from starting off. Who do you want to start this one off with, Harry? Who do you think we've got to give the love to?
It's tough to say. I think it's got to be Anima, right? I mean, after the play at the start of the Plaza games against the Dinosaurs, it's got to be this man to try and make a play for this power-up, and I feel like that's exactly what he's going to try and do.
So let's hop on board with Anima, but look at the shots coming in immediately from the Pulse Gaming squad. We talked about opening strategies, and it looks like that Overshield has actually gone straight into the hands of Fragger. So let's hop on board with Fragger. Again, it just seems like Pulse Gaming so organised. They're Fragger with some fantastic shots on Jersey 2, and look at the lead already in the game. That opening strategy has worked out perfectly for Pulse Gaming as Fragger's trying desperately to pull in and finish off this kill on Vex, but Vex doing an incredible job of staying alive. Vexus, take my hat off to you there, friend. That was incredible play to take down that Overshield player.
Punisher as well. Punisher goes down, so both of the Pulse players going down. A little bit of over-aggression now, I feel like, from Fragger. I mean, he didn't really need to just throw himself into that cafe area. It didn't really work out for him. He got taken down. And now, look, it's a 1-point game. I'm going to try and cycle, see if actually SLG, after this gunfight, if SLG has the Sniper, which he most certainly does. He's actually blamed one of his own teammates and goes down on screen to Vexus. So now Vex has the Sniper, and that was a 4-point game. SLG somehow blaming his teammate.
Yeah, not the best idea. He was hot, but sometimes you've got to choose who you shoot, my friend. But yeah, 7-3 now. It looks like we know the secret with a strong start here after they actually didn't manage to get that initial Overshield. So Vexus is going to have that Sniper Rifle, throws out a Splinter Grenade. There's going to block off that staircase. I would like to see him try and potentially just back away. Does actually miss a couple of shots there. Do you think that's maybe, again, having a little bit of a break in this series, that's affected his aim ever so slightly?
Yeah, maybe. It might just be the case. Could be nerves even. Who knows? But Vexus at the moment can't seem to hit anything. He couldn't hit a barn door. And at the moment, he's getting pressured a lot from Pulse. But it seems like they've taken their eye off him for just a moment. That's going to allow him to take up Punny. But it looks like the SLG is just going to come in and take him down. He wants that Sniper back, and he says, you know what? That's enough for you, Vexus. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how to hit some shots.
So SLG's turn with this weapon now. I doubt that he'll be missing quite as many shots as we just saw from Vexus there. Sorry to call you out, buddy, but this is Pro League. We are playing for a spot with the big boys. So SLG now trying to rotate into this hotel, which is where we saw him do so much damage in the previous series. He's actually going to sit top dip now. Scoping in on a player now. Pushing into blue. It looks like this game is actually going to be tied up 11-11, and that Overshield is going to be popping any time, Harry. So if you can keep an eye on that as well, that will be huge if we ever can get control of that.
Yeah, it looks like Septic there was actually moving towards top middle to try and get that. I think it's going to be Punisher. No, it's not. It's going to be Fragger again with that Overshield. So back-to-back Overshields for Fragger and back-to-back Overshields for Pulse as well. Don't forget SLG still with that Sniper as well. There it is. You saw the snipe shot come in, as Punisher takes down Anima. And now it's a 2-point lead. They have the Sniper. They have the Overshield. Now's the time to play this right and get a few kills, maybe extend this lead.
And I really like what I saw from Fragger there. From his point of view, you saw 3 players from Pulse Gaming actually putting shots on that player who was left. And look at the collapse here. That is a wingman medal for Fragger, so that's 5 assists without him being taken down. That's a fantastic medal to pick up, because obviously you're doing a lot of damage for your team as well as not dying. So those kills are going without reply. But let's hop on board with Cali now. Jumped up the yellow ledge, spots a player who's actually pushing onto the stairs. He's going to be collapsed on by Punisher as well. And that's Anima going to be taken down. That's 2 down as well. That Sniper Rifle is popping up as well. And as we can see from the player outlines, there's no players in position from We Know the Secret to potentially even get near that Sniper Rifle, as Cali picks up once another kill. And they're just looking really, really good on this map.
That was fantastic. I just love what I saw out of Pulse right there. Just not letting We Know the Secret breathe. They pushed them immediately in the yard, just pinned them in there. Immediate pressure. Love what I saw. It actually allowed both, Cali, Fragger and Punisher were all putting pressure on the yard, while SLG was able to rotate from the cafe to pick up this Sniper as well. So I'm just loving the rotations. Jersey 2 though, also with a Sniper. So let's see what he's up to. Only 1 bullet left, but he will tag Punisher. That's a double for him, but the sandwich comes in from Pulse. And now look at this scoreline. It's not looking great here for We Know the Secret.
We Know the Secret are down by 6 as we approach the halfway point in this map. 25 kills now for them. Vexus trying to just get into position here. We can see all of the players from We Know the Secret just trapped around the sniper area and around the hotel, and that is not where you want to be on this map. As we hop over to Anima, as he's taken down, Vexus actually trades that one out. But that kill lead just seems to be extending in the favour of Pulse Gaming at the moment, 27-19. And once again, they have what appear to be control of the map. They are just putting the pressure on all these players and forcing them into the loop and onto these stairs.
Yeah, Septic here is between a rock and a hard place. The nades do come in. I want to swap over to Cali here actually, because I think he has the sniper. He gets the no-scope beat down. Let's see what SLG's up to. He's in a gunfight as well, but immediate trade there coming out from Pulse. I'm loving that play. SLG obviously called out that he was in a fight and said, you know what, if I die here, let's make sure we trade this kill, because that's important. When you have a lead like this, it's such a big lead. It's 9 kills. If you throw it away, and again, Fragger with the overshield. That's 3 for 3
in a row.
3 in a row.
That is 3 in a row, as you say. And Fragger just managed to slide tackle under that player there, picks up the kill. He's trying to stay alive as well. And look at the scoreline, Harry. They are up by 11 kills now. Punisher now putting that sniper rifle to use, hitting that headshot. As we see the player outlines, 2 players actually spawn up. Goes for the no-scope, narrowly misses that one. But he's going to be able to call out all of the locations of those players. And Pulse Gaming are going to be able to potentially collapse in on these players. There's only 2 of them alive now. Vexus does actually manage to pick up a kill. That nade will hit. It's a great nade from Punisher. And look at these spawns. They have got them trapped over in the snipe area. Lining up this no-scope, but the Punisher was going to pull the trigger there and give us a little bit of a show, but deciding to show some trigger discipline, not give away his position. Great stuff here from Punisher.
Yeah, 14, make it 13 now. We know the secret are down. This is the kind of point in the game where you need to just get yourself a couple of kills, slow the game down, wait for the next overshield, which will be in around 40 seconds time. But at the moment, as long as Punisher has this sniper, as long as SLG's hitting Magnum headshots, it's going to be pretty easy work. There you go, Punisher again, tagging Septic, making short work of him, and now it's 42 to 28. Pulse really coming out hot in this series here, Mark.
And look at this kill feed. The kill feed is just constantly pulse, pulse, pulse at the moment. There doesn't seem to be any kills going in the favour of We Are The Secret. Punisher here just hanging out around the hotel. Does not know there's a player there, but there's the call out. Pushes in, finishes off that kill. Look at 3 players from Pulse Gaming up on the sniper areas. That new sniper rifle is coming up as well. They're going to have the time on that overshield as well, Harry. That's going to be coming up very soon as Punisher puts a bullet into the knees of Sherzy 2 there and drops him to no shields as well.
Yeah, you know what's very interesting about the fact there was 3 Pulse players up at sniper? It actually puts them in a great position to get the next overshield, but I do believe they've actually overextended on the yard. They only need 4 kills to win, so I'm not really too worried about that. But the fact that they kind of misread where We Know The Secret were. I mean, we have the benefit of the player outlines, but they all kind of push towards the yard to try and pin them in there, whereas We Know The Secret were pushing aggressively. Only 1 bullet a snipe now for Punisher. He has a few players to find. You can see they're on the player outlines, but there's Anima trying to push him. But again, Punisher's just been relentless with these body shots. He will be taken down. And let's see what Cali's up to. Only 2 kills now. He has a sniper as well. How many times have we switched to a Pulse player and they've had the sniper in this game? That's a ridiculous snapshot.
That's a nice way to try and close out the game. There's a nice snapshot there from Cali to take down that player. 1 kill away now, Pulse Gaming, for going 2-0 up in this series. We Are The Secret look like they are toast at the moment in this game, bearing an absolute miracle. On board with Punisher, knows there's a couple of players around the truck there. SLG's going to push in with him. That's going to be 50 to 34. Just a few kills away from a steak dinner there, Harry. And Pulse Gaming are looking so strong as they go 2-0 up in this series.
Yeah, you called it perfectly. They're looking very strong. I mean, look at Cali. 20 and 8. I'm pretty sure, didn't he go like 15 and 5 in the last game, in Game 7 of that French derby? I'm pretty sure in the last series.
He did, yeah.
What a great performance out of him. Just most kills by a long shot. We weren't even on his point of view for most of the game, so I apologise for that. But most kills, least deaths. What a performance. 12 assists, 12 kills out of Fragger as well. We were on his point of view a lot, and also key to note as well, he had the overshield 3 times out of 3. So just a great performance there out of Pulse, executing on those power-ups. On the other side, you got to look at Septic, least kills in the game once again. And 13 deaths and 15 for Sherzy 2. So these deaths right here and these low amount of kills, just really not working out for We Know The Secret.
And again, it just seems like the vetoes are working out. Again, they've dominated the first 2 games where the vetoes have been in their favour. So Pulse Gaming really taking those vetoes really seriously, and it seems to be paying off for them. I mean, Gaskin, Mr. Stato on the desk over there, he obviously sees something in this, and it's looking good.
Yeah, and obviously the next game hasn't been vetoed by Pulse either, as was brought up on the desk. Really heating up here in the arena. Obviously the players are playing at home at the moment, but you guys can be here in the arena tomorrow to watch some Pro League Finals action. Please get your tickets now. You see the link on screen, esl.gg/HCS EU Finals. It's going to be a good one. We have Vibe, we have Infuse, we have X-Men, and of course we have Fab E, all fighting for Pro League supremacy.
Yeah, make sure you get over there, get your tickets, guys. It is going to be insane tomorrow. The Halo we've seen today has been incredible, but my boy,
tomorrow is going to be lit.
I'm so excited.
There are no other words to describe.
I'm going to be like a kid at Christmas.
It's going to be lit.
It's going to be lit.
It's so lit.
It's going to be lit. So we're moving on to Game 3 now. Pulse Gaming 2-0 up and only 3 games away now from securing their place. Sorry, 2 games away, potentially, from securing their place in the Pro League for season number 2. Fathom Capture the Flag is coming up next. Harry, what are your thoughts on this one? Again, as you say, Pulse Gaming, a veto that goes in their favour.
Yeah, they look very strong. They've looked so strong so far in this series. I mean, Eden Stronghold's a kind of game type where you expect a team to be aggressive. Plaza Slayer, not as much, but Pulse played it perfectly. I mean, they're so aggressive, and I think it really took We Know the Secret by surprise. Fathom Capture the Flag is definitely a game type that rewards the aggressive team. So look for Pulse to have some success on this one as well. Don't forget, we have Camouflage top middle, Railgun down bottom. Don't forget to tweet the stream, use hashtag HCS.
So let's start this one off with SLG. He seems to be going for an immediate light rifle battle there with the player who is stuck in the porch. That was Anima, backs down smartly from that battle. Let's make sure that we keep an eye on. Actually, look at this kill feed. All of a sudden, 3 players drop from Pulse Gaming at the start. That's going to be 4 dead, so there's going to be We Know the Secret who get control of that railgun, and I imagine one of their players has probably been able to pick up that camouflage as well if it was not burned. So a strong start here from We Are the Secret. We Know the Secret.
Yeah, Shorzy too, picking up that railgun off SLG. Like I said, the kill feed, I mean, just great slays at the start of the game from We Know the Secret. Took down SLG, who picked up the railgun, and now it's in the hands of Shorzy too. You'd like to see him try and get a few kills with this so his team can continue moving that flag, but I believe that's going to be returned actually from the Pulse side, so that's a dead run. And look at this, immediately, Pulse, they're moving this flag. There's Shorzy too, needs to hit that shot, and he doesn't. Who is that running the flag? I'm pretty sure it's going to be Fragger himself, the man who was on top of the overshields in the last game, and just like that, in under a minute, it's 1-0 to Pulse.
1-0 to Pulse Gaming, and I'm sorry, Shorzy, but we've got to say, you have to hit that shot. If you want to be in the Pro League, you got to hit those shots. That was not a difficult railgun shot. I don't know if that player actually thrust it away at the very final minute, but I mean, from being 4 dead at the start with no control of power weapons, Pulse Gaming find themselves 1-0 up within the first minute or so. So incredible stuff from Pulse Gaming, and looks like both flags are out momentarily here. I think they will both be returned though, as we hop on board with Kali, who just seems to be making things happen. He's been a little bit quiet so far today, but he's really coming to life at the moment, taking on Shorzy too. Here comes SLG, and look at the bait and switch coming out of these Pulse guys.
Yeah, Pulse really want to make it back into the Pro League, and it's looking pretty good for them right now. They're 2-0 up in this best of 7 series, and they're already 1 flag to the good against We Know the Secret. Like you say, Kali, what a great performance last game. 20 and 8 in a Slayer. It's very, very impressive performance. Right now, he's slowing it down a little bit. He clearly knows there's a couple of We Know the Secret players around. That's going to be Shorzy too he gets in a gunfight with, but decides to back off, use the range of the battle rifle. He knows Septic's in there as well, trying to run that flag. Just this play right here is going to completely stall that run. I love the play out of Kali, and the railgun's coming up, which means, of course, the camouflage and railgun are both going to be coming up at the same time here, Mark.
And as you say, railgun, Anima says, that's mine. He hits that shot there, narrowly misses the second shot on SLG there, but incredible plays there we saw at the time that SLG actually managed to buy his team to stop that flag and allow his teammates to basically get across the map and give him some help. Then it looks like that flag is going to be pulled by Vexus, but once again, it just seems like a desperation flag pull. It looks like We Know the Secret really are just struggling to get any sort of flow going at the moment. Punny now is going to be pushing across the map. There's 3 players trapped in the base. That's going to be Anima trying to take on SLG, but Punny just putting so many shots in his back. That's going to be another player dead, so that's 2 dead momentarily. It was Anima with no shields. That's 3 dead now. Anima is the last one alive, I believe. He's not going to be able to take him down. So good place here from Anima to stay alive, and again, just buying his team a little bit of time to potentially put up a defensive stand here, as Pulse Gaming just putting on all of the pressure.
Yeah, Septic here is playing so sneaky. He actually kind of baited Anima a little bit. I think Anima maybe just gave him a call and just said, you know what, don't even try and help me, I'm pretty dead right here. But Septic right there, just playing so sneaky, and now he's going to be able to flank on top middle. That Pulse player, again, even Fragger right here, had absolutely no idea that Septic was in that treehouse. And he's in his own base right now. He did a little bit of hold-up work right there, but again, Pulse, relentless aggression. They're running this flag already. 8:40 on the clock here, Mark, and SLG running this flag.
This is going to be a big 1v1 battle, though, because both flags are actually out, as we can see on the Pulse Gaming flag is across the map all the way, so they definitely have to pick up some slays here. But talk about picking up slays, here's Kali hitting the headshot. Can he take down Vexus? Vexus wins that one, but going to be cleaned up by Punisher. Fragger picks up a kill as well, and it looks like this is going to be potentially a flag standoff earlier, but it does actually look like that flag. I was momentarily thought that was going to be returned. It is so close. Look at all the players coming off the respawn, desperately trying to get across to it, but Anima cannot get there, and that is going to be 2-0 to Pulse Gaming. That was heartbreaking. If you're a fan of We Know the Secret, absolutely heartbreaking.
Yep, you called it perfectly. There's no other word for it. Absolutely heartbreaking. They were so close. I don't know which Pulse player it was, but they pushed into the base, ticked that return down just enough, and all the We Know the Secret players were on spawn. They spawned in the gen. They had to sprint. They had to go full Usain Bolt, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And look, I think Anima now is on full tilt, boys. I think He's not really happy with that, and they're now 2-0 down. He's missing railgun shots. It's no bueno here for We Know the Secret.
Oh, that is... I genuinely feel for them there. That was a horrible moment for them, but Jersey 2 has managed to pick up a camouflage, so there is the chance for them to do something with this to potentially formulate a flag pull. Jersey 2 desperately trying to stay alive, but look at that, didn't manage to get the kill and just absolutely swarmed on. He got shot by 2 players there from Pulse Gaming. That player did so well to stay alive. Call him out. Punny's just running through Split and 8. He doesn't care. He's missing railgun shots. Punny's going wild. I don't know what's going on with Punny right now, but he's feeling it. Here's Septic. He's going to pick up that railgun. Seems to be a bit of a cursed railgun at the moment. Yep. He's going to be taken down by SLG with that light rifle, but he's now going to be pushing and trying to pick up a few kills as Fragger picks up another kill in the kill feed. Pulse Gaming definitely still beating the aggressors in this game.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull in the action right here as SLG has the railgun. So in the meantime, let's check out the kill feed. Fragger, 15 kills for him. What a performance so far in this game. And SLG at the moment is hunting some of the We Know the Secret players down with this railgun. They're 2-0 to the good in this game. I'd like to see Pulse maybe try and put a little bit more pressure on. Just keep playing as they are. You see the kill feed. A couple of Pulse players getting some kills on We Know the Secret. So they're trying to keep the pressure up, and I love what SLG's doing here, just assaulting that We Know the Secret base. He knows they're going to be on spawn, so SLG doing his best to pin the We Know the Secret players back in their own base.
And look how scared they're playing at the moment. Look at all these We Know the Secret players just spawning up in the generator, but they know SLG is hunting around with that railgun, so they are just scared of pushing out of the base as SLG does take one of them down, which is giving all of his teammates time to push up. Here's SLG, the last guy alive, I believe, is in the base. Fragger takes him down, so this should be a flag pull, and I think the last player alive, actually they got a lucky respawn in the gen there, but this could be potential for the third flag to be running. The players from We Know the Secret are spawning up in the generator. Fragger now running this one through the silo, just checking on the player outlines. Anima looks like, sorry, not Anima, that's going to be 3 dead. That is 3 dead indeed. Player moving in to pick up that flag. It's going to be Punisher, and Harry, this looks like it could be 3-0, and this could be a 3-0 lead in the series as well for Pulse Gaming.
Wow. I mean, I feel like the desk definitely needs a pay rise, because 0% veto percentage for these first 3 game fights for Pulse, and it's pretty much showing why they're 3-0 up in the series right now. Fragger, top kills in the game, top captures in the game come from Punisher. What a performance here out of Pulse, just absolutely fantastic. And when you look at it like this, the Slays, just considering it was a 3-0 victory fairly, relatively quickly, it was like a 6-minute game, the Slays not really that far off.
It seemed like all the slag, they were important kills. Every time Pulse pulled a flag, they were picking up the important kills. They were picking up, we saw SLG at the end there, picked up their initial railgun kill, and then the kills went down on the silo. So they were doing a great job of map control and picking up those important kills. But I think we need to just go back and revisit one little moment in that game where I think it broke We Know the Secret.
Yeah, so obviously a Pulse player had pushed into the We Know the Secret base. We Know the Secret had the Pulse flag in their own base, and I think it might have been SLG. Don't quote me on this, but the Pulse player pushed his own flag to, try and return it. Obviously got killed when it was just under a quarter of the way, until return. And then all the players spawned in gen. It was like a Usain Bolt 100-meter sprint trying to touch the flag, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Strongholds Plaza is going to be game number 4, and wow, you can't help but feel Pulse are going to close out this series 4-0.
Yeah, you really can't. As we saw previously on Plaza, they look dominant in the Slayer game, so they know their way around this map. They are just one map away from securing their position in Pro League for Season 2. Harry, Pulse Gaming, 1 game. Let's see if they close this one out.
Yeah, let's do it. SLG off the start. It's just going to try and capture the yard around 3/4 of the way. It's deciding to push out now, and you can see why. Jersey 2 there on the player outlines. I think SLG here has actually got the call from his team. You know what? We actually need to try and put as much pressure on bottom middle here as possible. If We Know the Secret, they got that nest spawn. If they get bottom middle and nest here, it's going to be kind of hard to break out of, and I feel like that's exactly what's just happened here for We Know the Secret.
And that is the exact start that We Know the Secret needed. They needed a little bit of a confidence boost after what has been a bit of a difficult series for them so far. So SLG now pushing towards the nest, and I'm a little bit confused from what I'm seeing here from We Know the Secret. They had control of the nest, they left the nest, and now SLG pretty much on his own is capping the nest.
Yeah, the problem here I think for We Know the Secret is they're trying to play it like they played against the Dinosaurs, except they forgot completely one vital factor. You need to slay the team before you push the yard. I think they tried pushing the yard immediately, but Pulse were already out. They were pushing out of blue, and now look, it was total control there for a brief period of play there for Pulse, so it kind of completely turned on its head. Cali here with a very favourable spawn. He can stop the nest here if he can take down Vex. He needs to push it a little bit quicker than this, but I believe he has a teammate backing him up. Obviously going to try and take down Vex. Look, this must have been just perfectly coordinated play. Look at how close that is to being captured. Oh, they actually got the reset as well. This could be a triple here from Cali. If he can close it out, he has the assault rifle. And Punisher comes in and is a party pooper. But again, total control here for Pulse Gaming.
Incredible play though from Cali. The patience to wait for his teammate. Didn't get too antsy on that Nest stronghold. Waited and waited and waited for his teammates to come and support him. Then they got that reset, cleaned it out. Fantastic play as we hop on board with SLG. And now look at the pressure, the timed pressure as well. Double kill for SLG, and this looks like once again it's going to be a triple cap.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to be, Mark. Triple cap once again for Pulse. That's how you play it. You make sure you slay the other team before you try and push the yard. That's exactly what happened there for Pulse. And now look, we know the secret are spawning by that bend. They have to make a decision. Do we push the yard to stop the bleeding, or do we push the nest? I think the call has been made to push to the nest. Let's swap over to Vexus. He has to try and make something happen, because look, it's 46-5. That's single-digit points here for We Know the Secret. They need to put some pressure on. They need to stop this bleeding, because it's still a triple cap. They're trying to stop the bleeding by capturing bottom middle. It's not going to work out. Vexus there, timing the camouflage perfectly, but 54-5. They don't even look like they're coming close here to capture a stronghold. And Punisher, my word, what a play to make to get yourself back in the Pro League. 60-5 on Plaza Strongholds. Can you believe what you're seeing?
We Know the Secret needs to be renamed the Heartbreakers, because they finally get a foothold in the game. They get the camouflage. They have the chance to make something happen, and then he gets shotgunned in the face and taken down without doing anything with it. Look at that score, Harry. 68-5 already, and they have had total control. We're on board with Vexus to see if he can do something for We Know the Secret in order to get back into this series, but at the moment, Pulse Gaming have got their seatbelts on. They've got a foot on the accelerator. They look ready to drive straight back into Pro League. This is going to be a hell of a comeback and a hell of a story if they want to get, basically, if they want to mess this one up.
This is absolutely ridiculous here from Pulse. Punisher, they're whiffing a couple of shots, but he makes good in the end. But every single time we pop to a player on We Know the Secret, they're just getting absolutely lynched from Pulse Gaming. The focus fire is very real right now. 79 to single digits. 79 make it 80-5. This is unprecedented. Pulse, we talk about them starting slow, and look at all four players of We Know the Secret. They say, you know what, let's stop these shenanigans. We have to get bottom middle. We have to break this siege, and that's what they've done.
Well, one thing I love about Pulse Gaming, look, they didn't get overcommitted to stopping that stronghold. Now, they are going to kill every single member again of We Know the Secret, one by one, capping everything. That's 3 dead. Punisher picks up the triple kill and pretty much potentially secures their place in Pro League, because look at this, the triple cap is also being pushed. Pulse Gaming have played this game type absolutely perfectly so far. Punisher has been the man who's been making everything happen for them as well. It's triple cap again, 88-10. This I'm sorry to call it so early, Harry, but unless We Know the Secret pulls something incredible out of the bag, this is game over.
Yeah, I feel like this is GG. I mean, look at where We Know the Secret have to push out from. They're already 3v4 as Vexus goes down. That's a good job. They're tying up the scoreline, but again, Shurzy 2 going down. Septic here already on no shields. He will pick up a kill, but he goes down as well. They're pushing out one by one and dying one by one. 97-10. I believe it's going to be Fragger here with the camouflage. This could be the end of the game. We could be seeing Pulse back in the European Pro League. Say hello to full season, boys. Total control to finish it. What a performance. Pulse, 100-10, 4-0. Welcome back to the Pro League.
Pulse Gaming deservedly in the Pro League for Season 2, showing their class. Punisher, 19 kills, more than double what anyone else had in the game. More than double what anyone else had in the game, and the control they had in that. And Vexus had the canard, the duck. The duck has come out. So wow. I'm sorry, Vex, but 2 kills. I mean, he didn't have a chance to pretty much move in that game. Pulse just played that absolutely to the T. Every time we saw 2 of the strongholds in control, they were pushing the triple cap, and they pretty much got it absolutely every time.
Pulse, say buongiorno. No, wait, that's Italian.
That's
right?
Italian.
That's Italian. Say bonjour to the Pro League. They're back in the full season, bro.
I'm really happy that we've got a French squad in there.
Yeah, we talk
about
a French
it all the time, but we love the French community. We are so happy to have a French team in Pro League for Season 2. Pulse Gaming just seemed to go from strength to strength.
Can I just give a shout out to my boy Dan Gaskin?
He called the
4-0.
Do you know what? Is there a bookies around there?
Yeah,
Gaskin in there?
Inside, was it inside lines? Something like that.
I don't trust
Betting
that.
Betting is wrong. Don't bet.
But anyway, Gaskin's a god. He knows everything there is to know about statistics. So, yeah, congratulations to him. But Pulse Gaming, I mean, we can't talk highly enough of what they just did in that series.
Dispatching.
It was.
Of an open circuit team. I mean, they look like a Pro League team, and they're back in the Pro League. They're back in the full season. Congratulations, Pulse Gaming.
So, as we say, congratulations to Pulse Gaming. We will see you next season. We're going to throw this one back to the analyst desk to break it down. So, over to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Well, that was quite one-sided. And, yes, I will give props to Gaskin. The Wonder Man coming in here. I've decided your new nickname is Wonder Man, just because Harry can be the boy, but you're the man.
Yeah.
I disagree
Take
with
that, Wonder Boy.
All right, well, that went about as one-sided as we thought it probably would do. But let's get your first impressions on that one. Was it as much of a beating as you expected, or more so?
I mean, I think it was even more than I expected. I expected those games to be a little bit closer. I know I called a 4-0, but I was thinking there was going to be a little bit of a fight from We Know the Secret. It kind of felt like they gave up after a while, and they were maybe in their heads they were thinking, look, let's look towards losers bracket now. Let's take a look at dinosaurs. Well, see, I have actual notes, but he just writes these memes.
This is how this best of 7 kind of. It really wasn't best of 7, but the first 4 games kind of played out. Brutal Savage Rect and Bonjour Le Pro League. Yeah, they've not even left it. We're not even welcoming them back to a Pro League. They've literally not left. They've secured their spot along with the other 4 teams here. Incredible stuff. Harry called it perfectly. They look like a Pro League team, and that's what we wanted to see. We've been seeing this. They're getting better and better and better. And, they trashed them. Credit where credit's due. We've got a French team, which I'm really happy about. It means we've got another, well, not even another, but the same French team back in Pro League for next season, which I'm super happy about because we love the French. We love the French community. GG, man. GG to SLG and the boys.
All right, the quick question. How do you think... I mean, they've played really well so far. Do you think that maybe they'll have a better showing next season? Do you think they'll maybe a little bit better than relegation next time around?
I mean, they may find themselves in relegation again, but I definitely don't think it'll be the same kind of case where I think they were like 2-8 at the end of the season. But we saw a really strong Pulse side coming towards the end of that season, and we've seen it here today. I think there's definitely going to be a big step up in their performance. SLG was very confident they were going to make it to the full season of Pro League. He's going to try and whip his boys into shape. So yeah, I think Pulse will be a lot better going into season 2.
1000%. It's the same situation with Vibe sat down there. I wish the rosters that were on Vibe and Pulse Gaming as well, I wish they were the rosters that we started off the season with, because it would have been a very, very fiery fight for top 4 without question. And honestly, fall season's going to be wild, man. It really is.
All right, well, let's kind of go through this briefly, map by map. We don't need to dwell on it too much. It was quite one-sided, but map 1, it started off Pulse. That game was so quick I didn't even catch the end of it, as I only walked from one stage to the other.
I think some of the key moments I had, SLG was kind of dipping into the stronghold points, and he was baiting out players. It was brilliant. I don't see it that often. He was kind of just dipping in with the SMG, then backing out, so then the other team would be running in, saying, oh, look, where's this guy? And then suddenly be like, surprise! And he'd come out with the SMG. That was what I liked from him. It was even slaying across the board from Pulse, and I just wrote down destruction. They played this map absolutely fantastically.
Yeah, destruction is the word, and generally is the key to this. Straight up, you can't get much more than what they did, and we've seen the French on. Funny enough, we've actually seen the French turn up on Eden quite relatively, and this map specifically always brings me back. And I actually think one of these players, Punisher, with the back at Worlds with the overkill on this specific map and game type. It sounds weird, but the French seem to like Eden, and they do really play it well. It kind of suits their play style.
Well, it certainly did that time around, right? It certainly looked like they were very, very comfortable in that game. But all right, moving on to map 2 then. Again, this seemed to be the same sort of story. They just looked too strong for We Know the Secret.
It was a strange one, because at the beginning, Pulse started pushing in very aggressively, and they were actually, I think, between 5 and 8 kills down. And I was thinking, okay, so We Know the Secret are back into this. And then suddenly they just kind of found their stride, and they just set up well. I just think maybe they were a little bit too confident to start with, and I've just written here, Pulse, they just slowed it down when they needed to. They were a little bit behind. They said, look, okay, let's sit back, let's wait for those power-ups, let's wait for those power weapons to spawn, and that's when they struck.
And they kind of took advantage of what we mentioned before about the unorthodox play and aggressive style of We Know the Secret. They kind of, I think they've read them really well throughout this entire series. They knew how they were going to play. They'd seen how they played against Dinosaurs, and it worked fine against Dinosaurs because that was just hit them hard, punish them, and take them out. And we kind of saw that coming through. And again, Pulse is the one where they'll slow the game down to match their speed of play. They're very, very clever at being able to, if things are starting to escalate rather fast, they'll drag the entire series down to their level, to their speed, to their domain kind of, and force the opposing team to play the map how they want to play it. And it's a very good trait of that roster, and something that we've seen many times in Pro League when the going gets tough. they'll just turn it Pulse's way, turn face, and pretty much punish him for it.
So this is an interesting point I want to bring out here. Was this just disparity between skill levels, or was this Pulse playing great and we know Secret playing bad? What do you think the difference is?
That is a Pro League team playing at the Pro League level of what we know. That is a professional European team playing at the standard of a professional European team. Straight up, there's no way by. That is a top 6 European team by far.
Okay, yeah, I think that sums it up quite nicely. Moving on to map 3 then. Again, a 3. This is pretty much the same story over and over again. Again, it was dominating. Again, they were very, very strong. I know you've got some notes there, Gaskin.
We know the Secret looked scared in this game, to be honest. They were just reluctant to push out. They knew that the railgun was in control of Pulse, and the survivability from Pulse was actually something I want to note on during that game. They were just running away. I think there was one point Shurzy2 had camo. He was trying to spray down one of the Pulse players, and he just running in circles and circles until his teammates came, supported him, and they took him down. And Shurzy2 really couldn't take control of that camo, and I think he only had 5 kills in the end, so he did struggle a little bit in this game. But yeah, I think the big thing was we know the Secret looked a little bit scared in this.
Yeah, and it kind of comes down to the aggressive. You can kind of see on your screen every time we look to it. It's more of a Pulse player rather than backing down in a fight, just charging in, getting head stuck in. And I've got to say, it was the mini mistakes on this one for me when we looked at kind of what we know the Secret were doing. There were just a few times they were getting caught off guard. And again, trying to play the game, being the sneaky one, take the little routes, what no one kind of knew. But getting shut down because you've just got a Pulse member they'll happily crouch on a corner and just wait for them to come to them. They'll have something in the back pocket waiting for them. It's like, oh look, you're running past. I'll give it a second and now I'll kill you. And that's that kind of slow, steady pace.
Alright, well, moving on to map 4 then, quite swiftly. And for me, this map, it looked like at this point Pulse were like, yeah, we got this. We're good. We're going to just run over you. Okay, I think that at this point it was just such a massive confidence, and we know the Secret clearly on the back ropes. Because we know the Secret pretty much was just a myth, that entire map.
Yeah, I felt like we know the Secret had kind of given up in that game, and I think we started walking from our green room knowing that this could happen, and in the time we were walking up here, the game was over. Because that's just how dominant that game was. They had total control for pretty much the whole map. It's actually one of the most dominant Plaza Stronghold performances I've seen all season.
Nail in the coffin springs to mind. You know what I mean? They lined it up, they knocked it in, away you go. And one thing I just want to give a quick shout out, because he is quite a little bit of a back and forth player. Throughout this series, I really think Callie's really stepped up to the plate. They were one of the series especially where he just went absolutely full on Talic and just went nuts, completely beast mode. But yeah, really want to quickly point out how much of a decent series Callie's been having. But again, all the players on this, it was a team effort, and they've sealed the deal. They took it 4-0, they've swept them under the carpet, and they've secured their spot in fall season.
They certainly do. We know the Secret. They drop into that losers bracket to play the winner of that first loser bracket game. What do you think?
I think I've got to be honest, that's a very, very hard matchup, because they have to play the next 2 games are just wild, man. You've got to look at what we've got coming up. We have NTSC playing Dinosaurs. We could be booting Dinosaurs out of Pro League. I just can't at this stage. I can't yet. I don't want to say that we're going to be booting Dinosaurs out of the Pro League, because it's just too wrong to say. The level of skill and knowledge, and more than anything the experience on that roster, they know how to deal with situations like this. But when we actually look at NTSC, I saw them being the second team in Pro League. They were, for me, the dangerous team coming into this, without question. You've just seen how much of a dismantling Pulse have given We Know the Secret. But look at what NTSC did. They pushed them all the way to a Game 7. That in itself speaks volumes. And wild games. Potentially booting out Dinosaurs and potentially sending NTSC a new team to the Pro League, which would be 2 French rosters in 4. That's massive.
Well, I mean, and the fact that Dinosaurs lost to that We Know the Secret lineup as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're going to do it like kind of mathematically, the fact that Dinosaurs lost to them, but NTSC took Pulse so close, I'd say that NTSC would be favourites going into that series.
That's the typical logic puzzle, right? If you beat them, but they only just beat you, you know, you go through it, and It could be a goodbye to the infamous Buck Twins and the rest of the Dinosaur squad. But that will be coming up a little bit later. So for me, I don't know whether it's going to go that way. We're about to find out. But we've also got tweets coming in. I did say earlier on, make sure you tweet in using the hashtag HCS. Also at HCS and at ESL Halo. There will be manned. I said Harry's manning it, so now he's off the casting desk. He's finally got his act together. And you see there, congrats to Pulse Gaming for returning to the Pro League for HCS Season 2. Such a dominant performance, and that's from Gravely_Austin. Yeah, I think that's right. Pretty much summed it up, just the same as we did. Absolutely dominating performance coming in there from Pulse. They really did take it down, and I think that for me, it kind of goes, they deserve to be here. The game before with NTSC, a little bit like, oh, that could have gone either way several times, but then they just buried We Know the Secret. So I think for me, very well deserved going through. Also, remember, I did just say, you can get your tickets for tomorrow. If you want to come here for the finals, the top 4 teams in European Halo, they will be joining us live in this studio. So you can get down there, esl.gg/HCS-EU finals. And that's, you can come join us here. You can come see me, you can come see Sims. Sims is giving out free hugs as well. So you can make sure you get that all down. But no matter, because coming up after this, Dinosaurs versus NTSC. And Gaskin's trying to hug Sims right now. That's coming up right after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.